So just went through a run with this build on Kayn, but let's go through him and see what other relics and builds are good for him. First of all, just with his constellation real quick, he has from his 2-star that you get a random darken equipment in your hand and it costs 2 less at the game start. When an allied unit kills another unit, it gets +2/+2 and you full heal it. So this is his 3-star. Really good as long as you're able to win combats. You can grow your board and keep them healthy, so that's quite nice. Let's look at what relic options he has. I would certainly say the Darkened Blade is one of the best, or is like the best in slot relic for him. This will make it so because he is a Darken, when you play him, he strikes the weakest enemy. But then also when he levels up, which you will only need to strike one more time, when he levels up, he strikes another enemy, and then he recalls to your hand, and then when you play him again, he will strike 2 enemies, because the first time you play him, it also transforms him into one of the 2 forms, depending on which one you choose, and you'll get a strike from the initial play as well as the transform. So you get 2 strikes out of this when you drop him the second time. So really good. And then if you have, another way to strike where if you're using either, Stalker's Blade or the Nasus Relic, the Scales of Judgment, either one of these, you will get additional strikes. So you can end up clearing quite a bit of their board if you are using those as well, and you can instantly level them up if you're using one of those in combination with this. So then you get a lot of benefit just from dropping him. He does not have the most power and whatnot to start, so it's less likely that he will be removing units in higher encounters unless you play him a little bit differently. One of the really good relics with him is actually Strength of Stone. There we go, Strength of Stone. This is really strong for him because he will now be striking for 8 when you drop him, or actually not 8, this would make him an 11 defense character with these 2 relics. And then even with this, he would get another +1/+1, so he would actually strike for 12 here when you drop him. So, then he's doing quite a bit of damage, and you're removing some good units. Also, because of his 3-star, where units heal when they kill stuff, that works really well with Formidable. That way your units are always getting more health, and they're healing up whenever they're winning combats. So, Strength of Stone, highly recommend this as a potential build for him. If you do have this, of course, the Starforged that we had equipped earlier, this just gets you extra mana gems. Those extra mana gems just help you accelerate your play so that you can get him out earlier, and that should go pretty well for you. Beast Within, again, he's the subtype of Darken. He has a lot of cultists in his deck, and any Darken weapons and stuff like that you use. If you summon the Darken from those also are a subtype, so they get the +1/+1. So you do get quite a bit of benefit from that for your deck, so keep that in mind as well. But if you don't have Beast Within, a form of Overwhelm is nice, but I don't feel like it's necessary. If you want to do something like this, Strength of Stone, if you want to do something like this is perfectly viable for him. You should be fine doing this. If you don't have some of these more expensive relics, you can use other things. Just to finish, I'll go through some of the other blue relics and stuff in just a minute. But some of the other things that are going to be quite good on him, you can actually use this new Celestial Staff from Soraka, because you get that full heal whenever you kill stuff. He already has Challenger, so he doesn't benefit from this Challenger. The spell shield's nice, but each time when you attack in with him, if you kill something, you will, if you kill something, it'll fully heal him and you'll rally. And so that'll be nice for being able to remove more things from their board and get those rallies going on. Then just pretty much anything else that's combat related is going to be good. Death's Foil to make sure you can attack in with him and he won't die. Very good. Disciple Shadows isn't too bad because you'll get him out for cheaper. The unfortunate piece with this is it will proc again when you're putting him out after he levels up. So you will end up taking damage on your board multiple times with this. Yeah, that's a little bit of a problem sometimes. Draconic Runes can be okay. You get more power with this. And if you're using like the Darkened Blade, those, when you're striking the enemy units, you'll get that those Fury procs, which will grow him even more. And then when you drop him again, you'll get more benefits. So he'll continue to get a lot of procs out of this, which can be quite good. I know some people who swear by this for him, so don't necessarily sleep on it. His spell, his champion spell, is a unique one. This gives him quick attack and he challenges a unit, so it is quite good for him. So using stuff like Echoing Spirit or the Grand General's Counter Plan, or both of those, can be very good for him. Giving him quick attack makes sure that he's able to strike and remove units without too much problem for himself. And you can, do this at each turn, getting more stuff, or if you have multiple copies of him in your hand, you can use those to remove a lot of the enemy board, which will be quite nice. Unfortunately, there isn't a real way to get him damaged. Otherwise, I would say if you're doing this with like the Soraka staff, that would make it so you can even get him on off turns going. But because he won't take damage when you're using this, because he'll have quick attack, this combo won't really end up working too well. But yeah, his champion spell, very good for him. Highly recommend using that. Then pretty much any other combat stuff, living weapon, good on him. Just will grow his stats. This will be a bit slower than other things. The Lux Baton is quite good for him if you need to make sure that you're able to get out a unit the first turn so that you can equip it with that cheaper Darkened weapon from his 2-star. This is a good way to help guarantee that you're going to draw a cheaper unit and be able to play it out. That will be quite good for you. He has a mid-range base cost, so Portal Pals is pretty good with him, but not, I wouldn't say there's a specific build around with this, but it's just, you will benefit from this. The Protectors of Demacia, again, this would just get you more units on board when you level up. It's sort of base strength, but there isn't a particular build around with this. We already talked about Scales of Judgment, just another way to get a strike when you drop him. Good thing to use. I think Stalker's Blades are in general better than Scales of Judgment, but if you want to have your support champion also get strikes, then this does benefit from that. But Stalker's Blade has the nice thing that if you summon copies of him without playing it, then it'll still get the strikes off. So sometimes throughout your run, you'll get things like Shadow Totem or other things that will be able to summon copies. If you want free strikes, then use Stalker's Blade instead of the Nasus Relic. We already talked about Starforged and Strength of Stone, both very good with him. Same with Beast Within, Darkened Blades, best in slot. He already has Challenger, so the relics that give Challenger, not really going to do much for him. We did talk about his champion spell, so if you want to guarantee you'll have enough mana for that, Archangel Staff, not bad. So if you're using Archangel Staff, Grand Generals, This will help make sure that you can cast this every turn and still play units. Not a bad plan, just to work around his champion spell. The other spells in his deck are not that great, but using this is decently good, just to be able to make sure you get more attacks with him. The other items here, we talked about Stalker's Blade, very good. You can use stuff like Berserker's Buckle pretty well with him because you are trying to do combat, and every time you win a combat, he heals and gets that +2/+2. This will just make him, every time he survives damage, he'll get even more. You won't, however, want to do this if you are using, his champion spell and using the quick attack stuff. Then he's not taking damage, and that's not going to do as much for you. So just be aware of that. This is more if you're planning to do combat and just win the combat, but he still takes damage and heals off of it. Something like this with the Soraka relic, however, will be quite strong. That'll make him grow even faster and be able to kill other units out there. Form of Overwhelm is always decent, though, because you're growing his board from winning combats. Your board tends to grow decently as long as you're able to win those combats. And so having Overwhelm to be able to punch through and kill their Nexus is also important. And then just from the green relic side, pretty standard stuff. Banshee's Veil going to be good. I would say that the Stormrazor has less value on him. It's still decent, but because you get the full heal as long as you win the combat, and he tends to have a decent amount of health, you're a little bit less concerned about that. As long as you're killing the unit that you're challenging into, then you don't need to worry about quick attack so much. So that is a little less value to him. Better off using something like Ginsu's most likely, or any of the other combat relics to scale him a bit more. Similarly, regeneration, not going to be that great on him because as long as you're winning combats, you're healing to full. That's just not going to have as much synergy. So that's the main bits with him. Overall, pretty good champion. I think he benefits a lot from a lot of the epic relics. Blue relics, you're pretty much sticking to either Stalker's Blade or going for his champion spell. So that's about it for him. Hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, let me know. Or if you want to see any other champions, I'll be happy to cover them in a future video. I'll catch you next time.